In this video, I break down the production of my Christmas song, Hey Rudolph. Hey, I'm Scott Mack, songwriter, producer, also known as the Ramblin' Man. Here is the full production of Hey Rudolph. Now, as normal, along the top, we have the markers. So we have the intro, we have the chorus, we have the turn, we have verse 1, we have chorus 2, we have turn 2, we have verse 2, the chorus, and then the outro. On the left here, we have the groups. So we have drums, bass, guitars, acoustic, keys, lead vox, and then all the background vocals. So there's quite a lot of background vocals in this one. Now for the drums, we have 2 bass drums, snare drum, finger snap, closed hat 2, open hat, ride cymbal, crash cymbal 1 and 2. We have crash cymbals at the end. There's 2 tracks for that. And then we have a swell. Let's dive into the bass drums. So first one, we have bass drum 1, nice and tight, and then bass drum 2, a lot rounder sounding. And processing here, we have the hits fill, and then we have the Kirchhoff, and I'm just rolling off those lows. And then on the second one again, we have the hits fill, and then the Kirchhoff, and this time I'm rolling off quite a bit off the lows there. And let's have a little look down any sends. So we're going to the kick punch, and we're going to Sound City. So for kick punch, let's have a look, and that's going into Neve 33609 and the Pultec and the DBX. And we're also going out to the Sound City, and the Sound City is over here, and it's Sound City, let's see, that's the drum one. And we're going into this room here. Now for the snare, nice sound, and then again we have the snare fat on the hits fill, and we're going out to snare punch and the Sound City. So once again we're going to processing, and we have the Sound City as we saw before, and then the processing on the snare punch as we have the Neve again, the Pultec, and the DBX. Next up we have a finger snap. And then we have the hats, and the ride, crash, the crash at the end. So let's hear all these drums together. Yeah, the ride cymbal. Nice. So with that vibe, I was trying to get that authentic sound. It was that whole Motown sound. Now onto the bass. Here we have the bass body and the bass neck. As always, I split the two. Let's take a listen. And the processing on there. So we have the Avalon, black box, and the SSL console. That's on the bass body. On the bass neck, we have the LA2A, the console, and Abbey Road RS. Nice. Next up, we have the guitars. And the verse. And then over here, what do we have? Oh, guitar solo. have a look at the processing. We have the 4 channels and we have the API compressor across all 4. And then we have an amp. So we're using UAD's Showtime 64 tube amp. It's a nice sound. Let's see, number 2. We've got the tremolo on there. Nice. And below that we have Brower Motion. And then over here we have CLA guitars, just a little bit of effect on there. Nothing too overboard. And let's take a look at the acoustic. We have 2 tracks, a left and a right. Let's see what kind of processing are we using on here. Down, we're just using the API console. And then we're going out to Hitsville. And we're using the chamber one, and that's just giving us that nice kind of authentic Motown type sound, and they sound like this. Cool, sounding good. Okay, on to the keyboards. Quite a lot going on. So we have piano, we have trumpet, horns, more horns, a B3 Hammond, some strings, a Celeste, strings again, choir, and a glockenspiel. Let's have a listen to all these keys. Who's nice and airy sounding, I love that. Let's have a look at any processing. So we just have the API console and we'll check for some sends. So we are going out to Sound City again. Let's have a look. So Sound City, and we go across and we have the keys for Sound City, and we're going into the acoustic area. And again, this is just getting that authentic sound, that nice roomy sound. And then we're also adding some of the Valhalla vintage reverb. So that's the 70s one. Now let's take a look at the vocals. You catch me right. There's a girl I gotta see, someplace I gotta be on the frosty Christmas Eve. Now for the vocals, you can see we have the verses, the pre, and then we have the chorus. We also have lots of backing vocals. So there's the main chorus, and then there's a section there for the pre-chorus, which appears in the second verse as well. And there's the outro section. So let's have a look at the processing for the vocals. So we are going out to Sound City again for the backing vocals, and that's just merging with all the other instruments to give it that authentic sound. We're also using Valhalla, so we're using the 80s reverb. So the main vocals are going out to the vocal compressors. Here are the vocal compressors. So we're going out to the TLA 100, going out to the Pawn Shop, the Presto, which is the True Dynamics, the Blue Stripe, the 1176, a little bit of Distressor, Fairchild, and the Vox box, a Manley Vox box. And as normal, what I do with these is I blend them until I get the sound that I want on the vocal. And then that feeds out to the main buses, which is here, and it goes to this final bus V, and that basically allows me to control all the main vocal with one fader. And then that just has the SSL console, and we have a send going to the Valhalla 70s reverb and the Valhalla delay. And then the final stage is we're going out to the Chandler, which is the germaniums, and then we have puff puff as well. And once again, all I do with this is I leave it on the default setting. It just pushes the volume that little bit without compressing anything. It just sounds great. So the music altogether sounds like this. And with the vocals in.
Don't get your tinsel in the twist. Won't be long and you won't be missed. So with a fa la 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 and a ho ho ho, got my mistletoe and I'm ready to go.
So there you have a full production breakdown of my Christmas song, Hey Rudolph. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next one.